thing, you're the one in the military. They'd be booting me out, dishonorable discharge, stuck in the green room. You can always keep prepping for the show, but the show's got to go on. It is indeed New Orleans, Louisiana. Corey Johnson with you. Thanks so much for joining us. Yeah, you right. The corporal is at the controls. I'm late getting into the studio. And I'm here, and I'm like, one thing if you're like running in, panting, you just got here. I'm here, like 10 feet from where I'm supposed to be. It's like, the show's starting? Jeez and Pete's. Get with it, man. Snap out of it. We got a good one lined up for you. The corporal is at the controls, 766-9480. Look, the reason I was a little late's legitimate. The corporal and I were going through how hot it is in the feels like and seeing who was closest. How hot is it outside, and what's the feels like temperature outside? And we were, hey, I say this, and who was the corporal won, but just letting y'all know that's why I was a little late. Something vitally important like that. Anyway, it is really, really hot out there. I would think heat advisory's in play, but I don't see it anywhere. Excessive heat advisory is not there. It's 94 degrees. I'm telling you it. I'm not saying the feels like temperature, but I would think it's like 96. And then the feels like I would think like 101, 103. I guess because there's only 54% humidity. It's sunny and bright. It's burning off a lot of the humidity. It says it feels like 96. I thought the temperature would be 96, feels like north of 100. That's what I'm thinking. And unlike Doppler or any of this crap, I stuck my finger in my mouth and licked my finger a little and held it up into the wind. It's much, much more reliable than Doppler. Anyway, it's hot. Stay hydrated, heat advisory or not. August in New Orleans, it's HOT hot. Yeah, we're in August already, in case you haven't been checking out the old calendar. It's crazy. 50% of 2024 is in the books. Seriously. 50% of 2024 is in the books. Dang, Corporal, I was supposed to start that New Year's resolution next week. Mid-year resolution, maybe. Yeah, I'm going to wait till the heat's gone. I'll try it in the fall. Hey, it's the fall. We're almost to the new year. I'll make it a New Year's resolution for 2025. And then the vicious cycle repeats itself year in, year out. No, we are 50% into the books for 2024, which is mind-blowing. Unbelievable. Tomorrow morning, Kamala Harris will have a vice presidential running mate. She'll make the announcement. Tomorrow morning, the race is officially on. I'm Kamala Harris. I'm Donald Trump. I'm debating on ABC, Fox. I'm debating with a string with two Dixie cups. Pull the cup tight, tin can, and old school walkie-talkie. Anyway, I debate anywhere, anytime, any place, any network, any people, anytime. I mean, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You get with some crazy extreme hosts that are obviously, first off, the extreme left and the extreme right, whatever the network is, if it's ABC, the extreme rights, afterwards, there's going to be a large number that say it was fixed. If it's Fox, there's going to be a bunch on the extreme left that say it's fixed. I mean, you throw those folks out. The rest of the audience, they're going to look at it and see if, boy, Fox was real jaded. My God, MSNBC was throwing softballs. Holy smokes, ABC, they obviously wanted the Democrat, whatever. People are going to see that. The people that matter, the undecided. But I don't know, maybe Trump or Harris are like, yeah, we don't want them exposed to that. We have a better chance of getting them with this. I like all the info, all the facts, all the opportunities, every debate, everything possible out there. Let the chips fall where they may. Now, I'm Donald Trump or I'm Kamala Harris, and you're up by double digits at this point. No, then maybe you curb back some of the stuff you're doing, just because, like, I can't do any better than this. Like, all I can do is hurt myself by being out there almost. It is a Monday afternoon. Kamala Harris will have a vice presidential running mate by tomorrow morning, and then the race is on to November. Hey, Oliver Thomas has his NOLA 2025 plan. I got my multi-point plan for any New Orleans mayoral candidate. And I doubt any of these, definitely not all, but if any of these would be picked up and thought of as viable. But it's about moving the city forward in a measurable way, not just the usual rhetoric and nonsense. Now, just generally speaking, I will tell Oliver Thomas this the next time I visit with him. It's obvious. It's a second chance. It's all of that, resurrection. But generally speaking, this is a rinse and repeat. Oliver Thomas, maybe Helena Moreno gets in the race. This is all rinse and repeat. There's no candidate that is just dynamic, that is some major difference maker, that isn't. First off, Thomas and Helena Moreno are not only rinse and repeat ideology, like Democrat, liberal. I'm not saying we need a Republican conservative as mayor. Wouldn't be a bad idea. Some dramatic change in New Orleans. Look no further than Mobile, Alabama. And check out the black demographic, what they think about their white male Republican conservative mayor. They love this guy because this guy apparently loves the black community of Mobile. He gets it. And any white candidate worth their salt that was a Republican conservative would embrace the black community in New Orleans because it's such a vibrant part of the city. And how do you bridge the gap between black and white in New Orleans? That's all important. That's like Oliver's whole plan. It's based on all of that. Like, that solves all of New Orleans's problems. And I can guarantee you this, in 4 years, 8 years, 12 or 16, and I'm not knocking Oliver Thomas, that plan, Oliver Thomas, like-minded folks, probably like a Bold Life Soul coup, getting involved, black community in New Orleans will go nowhere. It'll just blow through a lot of cash, but it'll go nowhere. The only way you fix the black community in New Orleans is if the white community, the Latino community, the Asian community, the black community, all together working on it. It's a New Orleans problem. It's not a black problem. If it were a black problem, it would be everywhere. There'd be no successful black people anywhere in any community. There'd be no communities that are majority black that are successful. It's a New Orleans problem. No, I've said this too many times, and it is painfully obvious, and it just makes sense. And I'll go on the extreme, like wealthy folks. I won't. I'll go middle class, whatever. Mid-city neighborhood. White guy owns his mid-city double. He is you make up the job. Pharmaceutical rep, distributes wine for wine people. Sells cars. He's a architect, whatever. White, has a Suburban, has a double, rents out one side, makes $200,000 a year. Next door neighbor, black guy, has the exact same house. They're like sister houses. A double, he rents out one side. He drives a Suburban. They work for the same architectural firm or sell cars at the same dealership or whatever. Same exact situation. Both make $200,000 a year. The black guy's responsible for the black community's problems in New Orleans, and the white guy has no responsibility for that. It's a black thing. That's what you're telling me. Yet they both live in the city of New Orleans. Why is the black guy who makes $200,000 responsible for the quote black community because of skin color, and then the white guy has nothing to do with it? Yeah, I just don't get the logic of that. It's a New Orleans problem. It's like when we tore down the projects. It were a lot of white people leading the way. And they went into the projects and worked with the project people, the people that live there, that community, and partnered with them. And that's how the projects got torn down. And to this day, those people are friends and the community's much better. Corey Johnson with you on a Monday.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Did you know Rouse's sells only Angus beef? Angus beef's natural marbling means more succulence and flavor. Whether you choose Rouse's USDA Prime, Choice, or Select, it'll be only Angus beef when you get it at Rouse's. Tastes like home.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool, New Orleans. NOLAAC.com is your cool spot.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
The French bread of the city of New Orleans. Good to the last crumb. Leidenheimer French bread.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore led us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Helm Paint and Supply now in Baton Rouge. 7 locations in Metro New Orleans, East Bank, West Bank, North Shore. They got you covered. Plus free 2-hour delivery of the Benjamin Moore paint, as you know. Baton Rouge, 4 Helm Paint and Decorating locations in Tigertown, the capital city. That's right. You don't have to go to the big box store where they don't know about any of it. You don't have to go to some national chain. You can go to the local guys out of New Orleans that are taking care of you in Baton Rouge. Louisiana Company, Helm Paint and Decorating now in Baton Rouge, 4 locations: Highland Road, Perkins Road, Jones Creek Road, Choctaw. Free 2-hour delivery, Benjamin Moore Products, West Baton Rouge to Gonzales, free 2-hour delivery. Helm Paint and Decorating's now in Metro Baton Rouge. Wow. Oliver Thomas joined us on the program last week. Did not say he's running for mayor. It was beyond that saying he's not. He's clearly running for mayor. There would have to be some unforeseen situation to pop up where Oliver Thomas was not running for mayor. He's the clear favorite right now. When polling is conducted with him, Helena Moreno, Royce DePlessis, Judge Hunter, whoever, whatever. I mean, unless it's like John Goodman running or somebody like that. Some, Ron Foreman, someone jumping in the race that we haven't heard of. Oliver Thomas is the clear favorite. He put out a NOLA 2025 plan. I think Oliver Thomas needs to listen to the multi-point NOLA mayoral plan that I've put together just pretty quickly. And all by myself and with no consultants. I'm not making fun of Oliver Thomas. I'm just saying, Oliver Thomas's plan, it's a lot of duplication of points. You could probably shave about 5 of his major categories off and blend them into existing categories. There's a little redundancy there, and I think it's cart ahead of the horse. It's a lot of fix the black community, fix the gap between black and white. It's like fix the New Orleans community, and the black community rises with it. That's how you fix it. Rise the tide of New Orleans, and it raises all ships. First off, if I'm running for New Orleans mayor, right away, I say I'm bringing in the best and the brightest locally and from all around the country, all around the world. If all things are equal, I'll hire the local person. But I would imagine a lot of my staff will be men and women from all around the country. Maybe a couple of people that aren't even from the United States of America, maybe. Going for the best at what they do in the world that we realistically can land. And if I'm Oliver Thomas or Helena Moreno or Royce DePlessis or Judge Hunter, I'm saying, obviously, I'm a Democrat. So I will lean heavily towards Democrat and liberal thinking ideology and going with those types of people with the same ideology as me. But I will also make an effort to make sure at least 25% of my staff and anything I have influence on will have conservative Republicans in those positions. At least 25% in every case. This is true diversity in this city. We have the white folks leading the business community, the black folks leading the politics. How about getting black folks in the business community? That's about rising all ships with the tide. And then how about getting conservative Republicans into New Orleans city government just a little bit? 1, 5? I mean, my God, there's 0. Name me a conservative Republican elected, anointed, appointed in any position. Folks, you don't like Louisiana, bright red state? I hear you. New Orleans is even worse. I mean, Louisiana elected a Democrat governor not once but twice. He just finished up his 2 terms. New Orleans doesn't have a single Republican conservative thinker, that ideology anywhere. It's just it isn't even the moderate liberal. It's kind of the woke progressive liberal and going farther left. I mean, there's a few, Joe Giarrusso, there's a few moderates, not many. Freddie King's probably pretty moderate. But boy, not one conservative or Republican. So no, I would be like 25%. That was what was great about John Bel Edwards. He caught crap from both sides of the extremes, so you know it was a good idea. He put Jay Darden on his staff, like his chief of staff. Jay Darden's a Republican. Republicans dismissed it. He's a rhino. He's not really a Republican. Like, dismissed one of theirs being on the Democrat staff. And the Democrats got all mad, like, my God, you win the governor's race and you don't make it all Democrat? You have the nerve to put this Republican guy who's honest and hard work. We need more of that. More of that. But he caught just crap for it. But it was the right move. I'm the mayor. I'm going to build, it's a twofold plan here. I'm going to build a new city hall, state of the art in Central City. And it's going to be much, much smaller because it's 2024 and we're building it for 2034, 2044 for the future. Highly technologically advanced with proven technology that other cities have implemented the last few years that has worked like a champ, taking that type of stuff in, proven stuff. And then shrinking the city's workforce by like 50%. I would say 25% in my first 4 years and another 25% if you reelect me to a second term if I feel like taking a second term. We're going to have success. No, early retirement, take care of these folks. But the pension system's unsustainable. That needs to be changed. But yeah, a new city hall in Central City, raising that neighborhood up and shrinking the city workforce because you probably need a city hall about a third of the size of the existing building. And all these different city hall entities, you could consolidate so many of them and get rid of so many. They're outdated, unnecessary. Don't do anything. Also running for mayor, I'd be like, hey, I'm the valet. I'm the guy that opens the door. I'm the chef. I'm the bartender. I'm the cook. I'm the waiter. The business community is number one. They're the movers. They're the deal makers. They're the ones that are going to get it done. I'd put together a business panel, a business council, and let the business community choose the panel and council. No, they're going to lead the way. If I'm the mayor, I'm simply holding the door open for them. You got to get together with all affluent New Orleanians. It's going to be mostly white males, but there's black males, there's black and white females, there's Latinos. I'll talk about them in a second. Vietnamese, I'll talk about them in a second. No, you get together with the affluent, connected people that still call New Orleans home. Like I said, mostly white males, some black males. People that, they know that they went to school with, college with. The CEO, decision maker, Fortune 500, Fortune 1000 type people. You get the Bill Hines types, Jones Walker law firm partner. Guy who's in his 60s now that knows so many people everywhere and is a no BS guy. One of probably the number one mover that helped the NBA come back to New Orleans from Charlotte, getting the then Hornets 20 years ago. No, get them in front of their former college roommate types, the friends, and try to broker jobs for New Orleans. Bring us 10 Microsoft jobs, 50, 100. Get this plan together. Yeah, the New Orleans Honduran connection is crazy. We have nearly 100,000 Hondurans in Metro New Orleans. Like 1 out of a dozen, 1 out of 14 of us, 1 out of 13 of us are Honduran. How isn't there some economic connection to the city and that country that benefits both? How is that not happening? How is there not a mini New Orleans in Honduras? And Honduras, we already got mini Honduras in New Orleans. No, it's almost like we forget, don't even think about the Honduran population in the metro area. About 100,000 strong. I mean, Honduras has had like presidents and people that are high up in their country politically that graduated from LSU and Baton Rouge and the like. The connection goes back decades, over a century. How about empowering the Vietnamese community in the East? My God. come here with nothing 40, 50 years ago, and they're the champions of the world. How about almost like automatic inclusion of like at least one Vietnamese and one Honduran on the city council? Almost like, hey, we got 7 council members right now. We're going up to 9. One of them's Honduran and one of them's Vietnamese. We're going with this plan for 10, 12, 15, 20 years, whatever. I'm kind of half laughing, half joking, but I'm serious. Need Vietnamese and Honduran representation in city government. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. They're probably like, don't want to be a part of that broken, crazy system. We're Vietnamese and Honduran. We're trying to get things done. Why would we want to be part of broken New Orleans' political system? Transparency in government, that's a no-brainer. We could use another multi-billion-dollar transformative project like the River District, if that ever gets started, like Interstate Loop. I laugh when I say this. They're running away the port project if they're not
Dave
careful.
Miet Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, INSagency.com. Dave Miet Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, INSagency.com.
For Leidenheimer Baking Company, producing the perfect French bread is more than a vocation. It's a sacred mission. And for 5 generations, they've used the same time-honored process, baking their signature loaf with its crisp crust and delicate center, unique and still good to the last crumb. From the finest French Quarter restaurants to your local po' boy shop, for over 125 years, New Orleans' own Leidenheimer.
The Woodhouse Day Spa. 5 area locations: New Orleans, Measurable, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamar Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
1970 was an exciting time in New Orleans. The first Jazz Fest was held, the city hosted its first Super Bowl, and the first Helm Paint location opened on Earhart Boulevard. While the floppy disks, mood rings, and pet rocks may have come and gone since the 70s, Helm Paint has grown to become your premier source for quality Benjamin Moore products, competitive pricing, and personal service. Please visit one of our locations today, and we'll meet our competitors' prices on any identical product. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. Katie's in Mid-City.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson with you on a Monday afternoon. Oliver Thomas has his 2025 plan for mayor. I got my multi-point plan for a mayoral candidate for New Orleans. No, we need another multi-billion-dollar transformative project like the River District. If that ever gets started, if shovels ever go into the ground, it's 3+ years later. You know, time kills deals. I mean, that just, you can take that however you want. Time kills deals. You have a deal that's trying to get done and you get the deal going and okay, the deal started. It's done. When the deal's complete, it's fully done. When you haven't even broken ground, I mean, someone can die. The financial institution can go under. Whatever the trend is you're building, it's not a trend anymore. So many things can change. Time kills deals. New Orleans has this River District thing out there, and we're just messing with it. Got this $2 billion new neighborhood thing, and instead of breaking ground like a year and a half, 2 years ago, the city keeps like tempting these people to bail. It is mind-blowing, the broken business model and mentality in New Orleans. So we got this River District thing that's still not going yet, and it is a transformative project. We need another one, like an interstate loop or, dare I say it, a Mississippi River Bridge in Chalmette. Chalmette folks aren't embracing this port project, which is mind-blowing. It's green. It doesn't pollute. You're going to get another north-south exit route out of the parish, elevated, hundreds of millions of dollars. I think the last time this project for just the bridge was $600 million. So the port project's like $1.8 billion, which means it's like $2 billion. And the bridge from Violet to I-510 elevated that residents won't pay a penny for. The trucks are going to pay a toll to pay for that bridge. It's like $600 million. And Chalmette folks are like freaking out about this. And it's in Violet where there isn't even a lot of population right in that area. And I guarantee you if, one of those refineries in Chalmette said, we're going to expand by 100, however many jobs the port container terminal is going to do. It could be half as many jobs. And we're going to put another cracker, and we're going to be, polluting the land, the water, and the air again. More than we're doing now. Chalmette would embrace it. We're going to be having a flare burning, all that. But it's 150 jobs. Rocky and Carlos will be bustling on a Friday. Chalmette would embrace the pollution jobs. And this port job is like from Jesus. It is a godsend. It's a godsend for Chalmette. It's the flip side of Kaiser leaving. It's the biggest news, but in a positive way since Kaiser shut down. Literally for Chalmette. Tell me something comparable to this. And Chalmette is basically pooping all over it, St. Bernard Parish. It's mind-blowing. Broken New Orleanians. Yeah, you folks in Chalmette are a bunch of New Orleanians. Some of you are born and raised down there. You live next to New Orleans. You're Yaddy New Orleanians, but the broken part, the ones that are against it. You St. Bernard Chalmette folks, it's got to be the majority that are for it. Shake up your neighbor. Get mad at them for their silliness, their ignorance. It's a godsend. Bunch of ships pulling up in the river, getting containers unloaded. Does anyone in Uptown, do you have any friends in Uptown near Napoleon or Nashville or State Street that are complaining about the containers and the ships on the river? Name me a single person in Uptown New Orleans you know. These are rich, affluent folks. Sorry. I don't live in Uptown. I can't afford that demo. I'm more of a Chalmette guy where I live. I live right in Carrollton, Holly Grove, Riverbend area of New Orleans, right there. But I'm like a Chalmette priced house. I'm a middle class guy. Nashville, State Street, Jefferson Avenue, all that uptown area by the river. That's a bunch of multi-million-dollar homes. You're driving by some that you don't even know are worth $1 million, $1.5 million bucks. They're all over the place. It's not dozens of multi-million-dollar homes. It's hundreds in that area. And right on the other side of the Tchoupitoulas flood wall is the Port of New Orleans Napoleon Container Terminal, where they're moving 600,000 containers a year. You don't even know it. They're in Uptown having a great time. There's no noise. There's no problems. There's no nothing. There's no smell. There's no pollution. And Chalmette basically, poops on that. It's mind-boggling, blowing. So talking about a transformative project like a Mississippi River Bridge at Chalmette, I laugh. Chalmette folks would be so against that. An extension of I-510 going to a Mississippi River Bridge coming down onto the West Bank. Much happier taking the ferry, waiting for the ferry. Here's the schedule. 15 after departure, bottom of the hour return, whatever. I don't even think that ferry's running right now. What is that? Belle Chase Chalmette ferry? I don't even think that guy's running right now. No, I mean, that's the Mississippi River Bridge for Chalmette. That would require real leadership in Chalmette to convince the population that it would be great. How about a true panel or group of greater Metro New Orleans, the parishes around us, the presidents, the mayors, meeting quarterly? The metro area parish president, the mayor of New Orleans, the parish president of Jefferson, St. Bernard parish president, the St., down in the Bayou area, heading across the lake west, St. John the Baptist, St. Charles, St. James, St. Tammany on the North Shore. No, meeting quarterly, face to face at a location. Hey, we're meeting in New Orleans Parish. We're meeting on the North Shore. We're meeting in Jefferson Parish. No, and get experts from outside the state that are hired that come in and meet quarterly with all the leaders and figure out how we grow this area working together. I mean, I talk about the I-12 corridor on the North Shore. That would be a perfect electric car corridor for America. Battery plants, manufacturing facilities, literally building the cars, parts suppliers. You laugh, you roll your eyes. Why don't you look at Alabama and the number of manufacturing car jobs they had in that state 35 years ago? You know how many it was? 0, the big goose egg, none. You know how many car manufacturing plants and parts distributors? I think it's 15% of all North American automotive jobs are located in the state of Alabama. From not a single one 35 years ago to like 15% of everyone in North America. Many manufacturing facilities. I don't know the number of manufacturing facilities in Alabama. From Mercedes-Benz to Hyundai, there's several of them. They started from 0 and hit 60 really quick. So to say the electric car corridor on I-12, New Orleans North Shore, it isn't being realistic. No, not going after it isn't realistic. You have 0 chance of getting it. Take a swing. Oh, speaking of the Port of New Orleans, give them whatever they want. Every dollar invested in the port has a $5 return. Every dollar invested in the port has a $5 return. It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. Focus on modernizing and growing the port to maximum potential. Maximum potential. The international terminal in St. Bernard and Violet is a must. Is a must. Give the Port of New Orleans whatever it wants, whatever it needs. Feed that cash cow. Litter. I'll bring that up in a minute because that's it's its own category. But in a nutshell, we go from the filthiest city in America, number one filthiest. Name me a city, a metropolitan area that's dirtier than New Orleans. We go from the filthiest to one of the cleanest cities in America. The We Be Digging initiative I've mentioned the last few months. We be digging. We be digging big holes, retention ponds everywhere. Let gravity help us drain the city when it rains. And then we be digging little holes everywhere. In the last 20 years, we've lost 1/3 of the tree canopy in New Orleans. 1/3 of our tree canopy is gone in the last 20 years. 1/3 of it. 1/3 less trees, 1/3 less shade, 1/3 less helping us deal with flooding. Floodings happens more with less trees. No, we be digging 24/7, 365. We be digging. Retention ponds, planting trees. Corey Johnson with you. New Orleans East, its own category. We need major retailers that are regional retailers. Retailers that bring folks into New Orleans East from the entire region. Now, IKEA is not going to happen, and I'll explain why, but something like an IKEA, where folks from the North Shore are flocking to I-10 and Reed to go to the IKEA because they love IKEA. And from Mobile, Alabama, and Jackson, Mississippi, and all over the region going to New Orleans East.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
For over 120 years, New Orleans' very own Leidenheimer French bread.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa, and now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
What actually lasts a lifetime? Not much, but at Helm Paint, we have something guaranteed to last a lifetime. Benjamin Moore's Regal Select. This paint and primer in one offers cutting-edge waterborne technology, smooth application, and long durability. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, your New Orleans paint store.
I used to do Channel 26 editorials, like 3 a week for, 6, 8, 10 years. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them. Annually, I always did one on Pontchartrain Beach, Lincoln Beach, summertime. I'd be like, another year, another summer. I've done it on this show a bunch. You know, we haven't opened these. Lincoln Beach, 60 years. Pontchartrain Beach, 40 years closed, blah, 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 blah. Every year. Just a reminder, because it's ridiculous. I used to do one at least once a year on littering, because something would just set me off. I mean, it's usually once a month something sets me off. It's really often. Today, I'm tooling down River Road in Jefferson Parish. And some dude's coming in like a Jeep, but not the Jeep, like a Jeep SUV, not the open air Jeep thing. I don't know what you call it. Anyways, I'm on the heading towards New Orleans side. He's in the heading towards Elmwood side. I guess like past Oshner, maybe before the River Shack. There's some houses where people live. And I just see a water bottle go like it had enough water where when he threw it, it flew out the window. And I just saw the flash of the bottle. But then when it hit the ground, water squirted out. And and then I drove by and it's a water bottle in this person's front yard. And that guy just flung it out of his window onto that person's front yard. And I was just like, my God, man, who raised you, dude? Seriously. People are crazy in New Orleans the way they litter. And I would say like a bunch of animals, but I've said in the past, I don't want to insult my beloved animals. Tolly, my Australian Shepherd, he doesn't act that way. Seriously. It's ridiculous. You people aren't human. You weren't raised right. You look in the mirror and look at your parents. What's wrong with you and what's wrong with your parents? You know who you are. You litter. Think about it. Oh, wow, I am a litterer. Some of you, it's just habit. You just do it. You peel off the cellophane of the cigarettes on the ground. Cigarette smokers, don't get me started. All the cigarette butts, just because every other loser that smokes cigarettes and flings the butt out instead of saving. I don't care if you smoke. I'm not calling you a loser because you smoke. It's an addictive thing. Hope you quit. Talk about the losers that throw the cigarette butt out and think it's not trash. It's the number one trash item in America, cigarette butts. Number one. No, smokers are the worst with littering. I'd say 90% of smokers litter. 10% throw their butt away. No, just the way people are. It's black, it's white, it's old, it's young, it's children that are learning already from their parents. It's elderly. It's crazy. I'm looking at this good-looking woman coming out of the shell. She's smiling at me. I smile at her. She had something in her hand. She unwrapped it and dropped it on the ground. I just frowned at her and walked away. I'm like, God, it's like a 40-year-old woman just dropping her trash on the ground. What is wrong with you, lady? Driving right by Young's, Franklin and Fillmore. I'm at the stop sign there. This woman in a Mercedes SUV making the turn, rolls down the window and throws her coffee cup out the window into the street and rolls up the window and drives right through the turn down Franklin. I'm like, what the hell? I just don't get it. I really don't. It's supposedly civilized human beings. Some are educated. Some have money, affluent, married with children. They've procreated. They seem to shower and brush their teeth and dress in clean clothes every day. They get haircuts and do things like that. Keep up with, normal human routine. Yet when it comes to litter and trash, just throw it out the car window. I don't want it. It is obnoxious. It's over the top in a bad way. The Super Bowl's coming in less than 200 days. We're going to clean up the metro. We're going to clean up the city. How do we keep it clean? How do we not revert back to this beyond animalistic way that so many New Orleanians, Republican, Democrat, old, young, rich, poor, black, white, whatever, just are litterers. They just litter all the time. It is part of their DNA. How do we break them? We need to arrest people, mandatory, get the orange vest and the stick with the nail sticking out the bottom in the bag and have them go clean up along the interstate. I don't know what it is. Embarrass people, take money from people, jail people. The mentality needs to change because the percentage of people in Metro New Orleans that litter, all types of people, all socioeconomic levels, is obnoxiously high. And it's pathetic. It's embarrassing. It's selfish. I just don't get it. Who raised you? Seriously. If you litter, look in the mirror, think about your parents and where they failed you. And if you've procreated, break that chain where mom and dad were idiots when it came to littering. I picked up on their crappy habit. Now I've got Junior and Sally. I got to change that. I don't want them seeing me be an idiot and litter all the time and be selfish and show this just blatantly obvious bad habit to children. No, they're catching on to it because a lot of folks litter, all ages. The guy throwing the bottle out the, car today onto someone's front yard on River Road. I'm just like, for me, that warrants like pull him over and arrest him. Just something wrong with that. Yeah, we need like meter maids for litterers. We need shoot video evidence of someone littering, send it in somewhere with the license plate, and they get a knock on their door and they're getting a citation. Arrest some people. Put some people that, out on the neutral ground, embarrass them, picking up trash. Got to send a message to the populace, to the citizens in Metro New Orleans. Littering is not tolerated anymore. Boy, it's dangerous to litter. You're taking a big risk of a video camera somewhere catching you and you're going to jail. What, Blue Boy? You're a basset hound and you don't even litter. Respect. You make sure I grab a bag when we go for a walk and all that to pick up. You know what? You're right. But the citizens, they blank all over the place and don't care. That's a good way to put it, Blue Boy. You're right. Very selfish behavior. Littering, no bueno. 5 o'clock power hour now.
On the Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson. On TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube. On radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM. WSLA New Orleans.
It's 5 p.m.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latram.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
Hi, this is Joey Helm. My dad, Bunky Helm, had a vision of a locally family-owned store serving the residential and commercial paint needs of New Orleans. I think Dad would be proud of today's Helm Paint and Decorating, and here's why. We have the best technical staff in the business, providing the best color matching service in Southeast Louisiana. Perfect matching for any color and any brand. And we'll save your colors so you don't have to save those old cans. Helm Paint offers free 2-hour delivery. Our in-store decorators will assist you on deciding what color and type of paint to best showcase your home. But most importantly, as your local independent Benjamin Moore dealer, our products provide the greatest value in the paint industry. Superior coverage, and Benjamin Moore paint simply covers better and lasts longer. New Orleans is a city of vibrant color, and no one else provides the paints of New Orleans like Helm Paint and Decorating. Visit any of our 6 locations or online at helmpaint.com.
Helm Paint, let us do you right. Helm Paint and Supply.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
Ooh la Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh la Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
5 generations, family-owned and operated. Leidenheimer French bread.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamarck team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamarck Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Hey, everybody, it's Johnny Jackson, and this is MTV. Martha Quinn's up next. We're playing some of your favorite videos. Michael Jackson's finally part of the family. Here's one of his videos from Wonderland with a bunch of children. I don't listen to any more Michael Jackson. It comes on, I turn it off. All of it. Don't listen to any more Michael Jackson. I never liked Woody Allen movies, really. I refuse to watch any Woody Allen movie. Not a single one. Why would I watch that? Those people are sick. Talent makes... I have more sympathy for Michael Jackson. I mean, Joe Jackson was about as bad a father as you could find. Just an evil, sick man. But Woody Allen doesn't have much of an excuse. I don't think he had any kind of totally insane parenting. I think just Woody Allen's a sick individual. No, I don't. Life's pretty easy for me on that. I like actors and musicians and stuff, and I don't care about their politics. But there's a big difference between Sean Penn going to like some South American country and talking with some leader that you don't like. You may not like Sean Penn's like real liberal politics, but you're like, damn, Sean Penn is an incredible actor. That's me. Woody Allen and Michael Jackson, I'm like, they're not like palling around with some dictator. They're like essentially like molesting children, you know? So I just kind of move on from them. Michael Jackson was a lot harder because I like Michael Jackson, Jackson 5 to everything, you know, some of it. And ridiculous talent. Woody Allen, ridiculous talent, but just a sick individual. His movies end up being his life. That's him. It's always the older dork guy loser getting with some young, beautiful young girl. It's sick. Sick. And then so many folks just look beyond it. I don't know. I can't look beyond it. All right. I digress. We've got too many topics to talk about Woody Allen and Michael Jackson. Corey Johnson with you on a Monday, 5 o'clock Power Hour coming your way. 5 o'clock Power Hour this afternoon brought to you by Young's Dry Cleaning, the best in the business. Tired of your dry cleaner? Want to experience the best? Young'sDryCleaning.com, a New Orleans institution since 1940. Walk-up locations, free pickup and delivery, East Bank, West Bank, home or office. Manless locker locations all over the city, maybe like right under your nose where you live or work and you didn't even know it. Find out more, Young'sDryCleaning.com. 5 o'clock Power Hour brought to you by Young's Dry Cleaning. Yeah, an absolutely full slate. Olympics continue. One of the there's so many cool moments with the Olympics. I love the stories behind the athletes, what they've done, if they've overcome things, whatever. Just great stuff. Simone Biles is special. One of the greatest Olympians ever. And so gracious. Her and her teammate, Jordan Childs, they're bowing in respect to the new gold medalist, Rebecca Andrade of Brazil. You know, Biles, I think, got silver and Childs got the bronze, and they both, you know, they're on the lower side. They both turn sideways and sort of bow to her. Just make it that much better. And then I think Childs slipped into the bronze, like after reevaluating or took a second to tally the points. She got the bronze. Like Simone Biles is more happy for Jordan Childs than Jordan Childs was for herself almost. Simone Biles, wow. Superwoman. Kamala Harris will have her vice presidential running mate by tomorrow morning. Like in the next, 15 hours or so, we'll know Kamala Harris's VP candidate, and the race is on. Governor Jeff Landry and Attorney General Liz Murrill doubling down on the 10 Commandments. Liz Murrill's argument's pretty lawyer smart and creative, it's not going to hold water. It just is an inevitable delay. It's not an argument like that proves the point. But she's like, nothing's been done yet. We haven't put up a 10 Commandments, placard or sheet of paper. What is it, 11 by 14 in any classroom in the state. So what are you suing again? What are you suing for? We haven't done anything yet. That's a pretty good point. Jeff Landry says, I think we're forgetting in this country, democracy actually means majority rules. No, democracy doesn't mean majority rules at all. There's nothing, I shouldn't say there's nothing in democracy that says majority rules, but there's more to it than that. There's the Constitution. The majority can say, hey, let's lower the age for, men to be able to be men and join the military. We're going to lower it from 18 to 14 years old. You can join the Marines or Army at 14. The majority may say, let's do that. The Constitution may say you can't do that. The majority can say a lot of things. That's a bad example because that's something that can change, but it's more like the democracy doesn't mean majority rules because there's the Constitution, there's the legislative branch, there's the judicial branch, there's the executive branch. There's a lot to democracy. And majority doesn't rule when we have electoral college in a presidential race, for example. A candidate can win more votes and lose because didn't win the key states that added up to the 270 electoral votes. I think we're forgetting in this country democracy actually means majority rules. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Can't make child molestation legal in Louisiana. It's unconstitutional, even if the majority says so. So no, that's where Jeff Landry just gets so hardwired on where he's going. Loves the 10 Commandments, trying to fool himself into thinking it's like justifying, and he knows he's not trying to fool himself, trying to justify this Christian thing, shoving it down everybody's throat, Christian or not, being part of Louisiana. We made it a Christian thing. Democracy means majority rules. I mean, at least Liz Murrell's argument has some, what are you suing us for? We don't have anything posted anywhere. Yeah, the law says we can do it, but we're not doing it yet. Anyway, Governor Jeff Landry and Liz Murrell are double downing when it comes to Louisiana's most likely unconstitutional display of the 10 Commandments law. This law has been stricken down in Kentucky decades ago. Same thing will happen here. Troop NOLA about to implement sweeps of panhandlers in the city, trying to get rid of the panhandlers. I thought there was a brilliant idea. Who was it? Was it Oliver Thomas with the circle? Saying you have a circle by, off Jackson Square, a circle in this area, off Frenchman, and you get a permit, and that's where you can go. Just like around Jackson Square with the artists. I'm sure some artists just show up and plop down their stuff and don't have a permit and start painting. And I would imagine the other artists, especially if you're taking their spot, that have a permit, they're going to turn in the artist that's not, that isn't permitted. So Troop NOLA is about to implement sweeps of panhandlers. Folks begging for money, from that type of person to folks in the quarter, I'll tell you where you got your shoes for $1. Speaking of the quarter, Chief Ann Kirkpatrick over the weekend apparently hit a couple of people while in her vehicle. I guess she got distracted. She was on duty. I don't know if she was like in a police cruiser. I don't know how fast she was going. She took a blood alcohol test, unlike some other jokers in city government that avoided that. The chief could have easily avoided it. She blew a 0.0, like no alcohol. 0.0. Now, I don't know what happened. Ann Kirkpatrick would have to tell you. Got distracted, but hit one person that had to go to the hospital, and then I think the other person got knocked down. Hope the person that had to go to the hospital is okay. Hurricane Debbie hits Florida, right where the Panhandle meets sort of the, what is it, northwestern.
Custom window
coast?
treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore led us to you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you. The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live, we live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Dave Miet Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, INSagency.com. Dave Miet Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, INSagency.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson with you. Thanks so much for joining us. Oliver Thomas has his NOLA 2025 plan. I got my multi-point plan for someone running for mayor that would move the city forward in a measurable way. One part of that plan, I mentioned like litter is its own topic. New Orleans East is its own topic. New Orleans East had a chance to do something special with not one but two sites, and they kind of dropped the ball on both sites. By the way, nothing going on in New Orleans East right now. Now, don't get me wrong. The Michoud area, stuff's going on out there. For sure. We're going to land man on the moon. I'm talking about by the Plaza site, by the Six Flags site, Lincoln Beach, across the street from the Plaza, the Mackey Studios. There's no shovels in the ground. There's nothing. The old Lowe's, nothing going on. New Orleans East desperately needs regional retailers, something that attracts people from all over the region to come to New Orleans East for that particular retailer or product or whatever. New Orleans East has so much room right now on I-10, on the interstate, all up and down the I-10 in New Orleans East. New Orleans East should have a problem where they're like, we have to buy these old apartment complexes and tear them down because the real estate on the interstate's too prime and we have so much retail going on. Instead, it's like the opposite. No, one of the biggest mistakes was how the city of New Orleans marketed the Six Flags site. And the answer would be no marketing at all. Basically just said it's available. That's why the winner was local businessman Troy Henry, and the runner-up was Drew Brees and Saints middle linebacker Demario Davis. And I'm not kidding. Instead of Bass Pro Shops, Cabela's, or some major water park, or Flying J truck stop, or a Buc-ee's even. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, but a national marketing team letting Fortune 500, Fortune 1000, letting these companies know that outside of a major metropolitan area in the United States on a major intersection of interstate, I-10 and I-510, there's a huge parcel of land available. Instead, no one knew about it anywhere, so there was no chance of getting major players to even consider the site. I mentioned this to Troy Henry when I had him on the show. He acknowledged it. Yes, dysfunctional New Orleans probably helped me land the site. Dysfunctional New Orleans probably helped me. That's from Troy Henry. You can go to YouTube and go to the previous shows. It has Troy Henry right there. You can check it out and listen to it from a few months ago. Now, Troy Henry's not doing anything wrong. He went out, saw what he wanted, and he got it. But he shouldn't have even been in the game. It should have been just these monster retailers. After Troy Henry lands the Six Flags site, he wins the bidding. And it was years ago now. Years ago. Months later, Buc-ee's announces they're going to southern Mississippi, that Menge exit off the I-10 right past Diamond Head before Gulfport. Buc-ee's breaks ground. They're building the Buc-ee's as we speak. They're expanding the interstate. Because they're expanding the interstate, they're going to be able to put up sound walls by like Diamond Head and other places. Have to expand the interstate to get the federal money to build the sound walls. Buc-ee's will be open before a shovel goes in the ground at the Six Flags site in New Orleans East. Before a test piling goes in the ground, Buc-ee's will be open selling brisket on the board, whatever they do. That was a major mistake, not nationally marketing it with a firm from outside the city instead of just this local thing. Hey, Metairie. Hey, St. Bernard. Hey, New Orleans. Six Flags sites available. Wow. Talk about a limited pool of people instead of 300 plus million Americans knowing about it. It's, a few thousand New Orleanians knowing about it. Crazy. Setting yourself up for second rate, prolonged development, decades, maybe. No, it's years now. Nothing's been done. Zero. Here's another example where if you had real leadership, this wouldn't have happened. The Lowe's site right on I-10 by the plaza. Goodwill, I believe, purchased the site. If I'm the city of New Orleans, I would have steered Goodwill towards that old Schwegman store on Bullard that's set back off of Bullard in the back. It's a pretty modern building. I would say just a little bit older than the Lowe's building at the plaza site. Maybe 8-10 years older than that. It's a big box store. The point is, Goodwill, folks are going to find that. Seeing it on the interstate's not making you exit and go there. Folks from the region aren't seeking that out. It's a local store. Folks locally are seeking it out. They'll find it. And you get that old Schwegman's, which is dormant off Bullard, back in business. You get some folks coming in and out of that area. And then that building has so much room for other retail. As far as the Lowe's on the I-10, you go after someone like an IKEA furniture store, some entity that's going to bring folks from the region into New Orleans East. Could you imagine if the Six Flags site would have been a Bass Cabela's massive pro shop, an outdoor hunting and fishing, massive Bass Pro Shops? The nearest ones right now are Baton Rouge. They have a Bass Pro Shop and a Cabela's, both. And Mobile, Alabama. Nothing in Mississippi. You'd have a lot of the Mississippi folks going, I want to go to the big monster one in, New Orleans, right there north of Chalmette. Not the one in Mobile, which is nice, but it's smaller. We used to go there. Let's go to the newer, bigger monster one in New Orleans that has everything. So you'd have people from the region flocking to New Orleans East, I-10, I-510, to go to that monster Bass Pro Shop, Cabela's. Everybody that hunts and fishes around this metro area and beyond would be flocking to that. And then if that Lowe's was like an IKEA, that's a national retailer, and they bring people in from the region. Now, I did a little research with IKEA because I thought the idea was such a good idea. And more than just a retailer in the East that would bring people in from the region, North Shore, West Bank, Baton Rouge, Mobile, Alabama, IKEA furniture. Are you kidding? Closest ones are South Florida and Texas. IKEA only operates where there are, I think it is 2 million people within 60 miles of the location. 2 million people within 60 miles of the location. And there aren't 2 million people within 60 miles of the plaza at I-10 at Bullard. But in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, like Gonzales or Gramercy, they're going to build an IKEA there. That's some news that's leaking. And they've got probably 3 million people almost within 60 miles of that. You got 1.2 in Metro New Orleans. You got about 900,000 in Baton Rouge. You're at 2 million plus right there. Throw in Hammond, throw in Houma Thibodeau. You're probably getting to about 2.5 million within 60 miles. They hit their mark. So it doesn't work in the East, but it works in between New Orleans and Baton Rouge. Something like the Bass Pro Shop Cabela's, which would work like a champ at the old Six Flags site. Hey, guys, we're not launching the boat to test it in a fake pond. We're launching it in real water. And by the way, we're 15 minutes from fresh, brackish, and salt. It's just impossible to beat. Could be the world's biggest Bass Pro Shop. You have like some actual people selling New Orleans, getting in front of the right people at Bass Pro Shop Cabela's. It could have become a reality, at least a chance. So IKEA can't go into the Lowe's site at the Plaza on I-10 and read, but you get somebody that is a regional draw, a company that doesn't have the 2.5 million or 2 million within 60 miles requirement. I don't know what it would be, but there's a lot of regional companies that are in other parts of the company, like IKEA, that people just seem to love and embrace and would drive 30, 40, 50, 60, 80 miles to go experience. That's the kind of thinking and leadership New Orleans East needs. For New Orleans East, but something that is a regional attraction. So outsiders come to the East and spend money and leave tax money in the East. And then all of a sudden, next to the Bass Pro Shop, Cabela's, next to the IKEA type thing, you've got restaurants and support stuff that people leave that place. Hey, let's go get a bite to eat. And then it just grows and grows. Sadly, the Goodwill store is going to do, a few million in business annually instead of what an IKEA does, 100 million. Google it for us, Corporal. What's the average IKEA store do in business a year? I bet you it's something stupid like $100 million. The Goodwill store is going to do 2 million in sales in the Lowe's site. Good for them. I'm not against Goodwill. It's just put them in like the Schwegmans off Bullard. Got all the room in the world there. They're a place people will go seek out. You want IKEA right on the I-10, everyone's seeing it. Driving like, damn, I didn't know they had an IKEA here. Next time we're near New Orleans, we're going to go to IKEA. Hey, on the back on the way out of town, we're stopping at IKEA. Yeah, no, just you give me what that would be IKEA sales. No, I just like single IKEA store, annual sales or whatever. Yeah, that would be perfect. Yeah, I don't need the whole company. I know that's billions, but I'm assuming a single IKEA does got to do north of 100 million a year. Single IKEA annual gross sales. Single IKEA store annual gross sales. Anyway, it's just night and day. It's night and day. You're typing over there. What are you doing, Corporal? It's technology. Check this out, man. It's called Surrey or something. Microphone. Average IKEA store gross annual revenue. In 2023, IKEA's global retail sales were almost 50 billion, a 6.6% increase. IKEA's e-commerce, 10 billion, doesn't tell us anything. Huh. What is the revenue of an IKEA store? 5.65 billion US in 2023. That's all the stores. All right, that's a number we can work up. 54 stores. That's easy math. 5.6 billion, 54 stores. Why don't you do I'm the champ, 100 mil a store. I nailed it. Sometimes I'm good, Corporal. That math is easy, right? 5.65 billion, and IKEA has 54 stores. They do about 105 million each on average. Geesh. Instead, it's Goodwill store doing 2.1 million, just no lack of leadership. And just saying New Orleans East needs help. We got to bridge the gap between black and white in New Orleans. That's not getting it done. It's not getting it done. Yeah, I've got a multi-point plan for any New Orleans mayoral candidate. Oliver Thomas has his. He's running. It's just unofficial. First off, if you're the mayor, you bring in the best and brightest on your staff. Ideally, you like to hire local, but if someone's better from around the country, even around the world, they're the person you hire. Male, female, gay, straight, black, white, doesn't matter. Hire the best. Now, in New Orleans, if you're Oliver Thomas or Helena Moreno, I would be saying, hey, I'm a Democrat, so I'm going to lean heavily towards that and liberal thinking and ideology. But I will also make an effort to make sure at least 25% of my staff and anything I have influence on, 25% of those positions will be conservative Republicans. At least 25% in every case. That's true diversity in this city. It ain't about black or white. It's about no Republicans. Zero. Not any conservative ideology in the least bit. There's not a single elected person in New Orleans government that's a Republican. Not one. There's not an appointed, anointed person I know of any significance in New Orleans city government that is a conservative or a Republican. I don't give a crap about Republicans or Democrats. I'm a registered independent. I care about bipartisan politics, what's best. It isn't even liberal and Democrat. It's way left. Outside of like maybe Joe Giarrusso, Freddie King, it's woke, loony left, hyper left, government bail you out, city take care of everybody, that kind of mentality. There's no opposing thinking. There's no conservative ideology in New Orleans city government at all, and that's a broken machine. That can't work. It'll never, ever succeed without some conservative ideology implemented. There's something conservatives would bring to the city of New Orleans that everyone would agree on is the better method than what the liberal Democrats are doing, including most Democrats. But there's none of that in the city anywhere. That would be part of my platform. I'd build a new city hall in Central City, about 25-30% of the size of the present one at most. Look at other modern city halls in major cities in America that are much larger than us in population. They have a much smaller city hall, technology driven, don't need as many employees. That would be a 2-point deal. City of New Orleans isn't here to employ people. It's not a company. It isn't about playing politics where I'm going to get you a job and you vote for me. And your family and your friends vote for me because I got you a job. No, when you build the new modern city hall with new technology, you slowly but surely, you're not firing people. It's early retirement. It's attrition. You're downsizing City of New Orleans employees, especially that work at the physical city hall building. There are too many departments, like 2 and 3 at a time can be consolidated in one. There are 2 or 3 at a time that can be eliminated entirely. You get rid of about 50% of the existing city hall workforce. And if I were running, I'd be like, I can get rid of 25% in my first term, and I'll get rid of the second 25% in a second term if I feel like doing it. Put together a business panel or council that is chosen by the business community. I leave it up to you. Here's the 20 people I've come up with that I think are big in the business community. It's up to you guys. Y'all can add to this. I'm passing the baton to y'all. I have nothing to do with it anymore. But just report back to me. And I'm here as the maitre d', the valet, the guy opening the door for you. I'm setting the table. I'm cooking the food. You guys go in the restaurant and do business for New Orleans. I'm letting the business community lead. New Orleans at its best is when the business community led. I'll give you an example. Landing the then Charlotte Hornets 20 plus years ago. Mark Morial did 2 great things as mayor. Great. 2 only. Great things. And it was him getting out of the way and doing nothing as mayor. Seriously. One was the feds saying, hey, Richard Pennington, the number 2 guy in D.C., he's going to be the police guy. This is Clinton administration era. We have a budget surplus. We're paying for the consent decree. The feds paid for the consent decree back then. Not today where New Orleans pays for the consent decree. They're like, Richard Pennington's the guy you're hiring. Morial said, okay. Mark Morial didn't choose Richard Pennington. The feds and Richard Pennington chose New Orleans. And then the NBA. Mark Morial got out of the way. Bill Hines and Doug Thornton, Jay Cicero, those guys put up a great presentation, wowed a guy who's unwowable. He's not into any BS. He only likes facts. Wowed then NBA Commissioner David Stern and landed the Pelicans. The then Hornets, now Pelicans. Now that's Mark Morial and city government getting out of the way. No, Mark and Jacques realized, wow, we can't make any money off the new police chief, and we can't make any money off, the NBA. They're a no BS organization with Stern. They got out of the way. Maybe we can make some money off of the benefits of these things. No, I'd put together a business panel, let them lead, and I'd be the guy opening the door if I were mayor for them. Got to figure out, and it's everyone together, got to figure out a way to bridge the gap between black and white in New Orleans. But white people have to be involved in the process or it'll never work. It's not an exclusive black thing. It's a New Orleans thing. If it were a black thing, it would be, and it would be everywhere. The New Orleans problem, the black community gap, white-black economic gap in New Orleans it's not exclusive to New Orleans, but it is huge in New Orleans compared to other cities that have huge black populations like Houston or Atlanta or New York or Los Angeles. We're like the worst. We have the biggest gap. This is real simple. You have a black man and a white man living next door to each other. They live in Mid-City. They both work at an architectural firm. They both work at a car dealership selling cars, whatever. You can say they both make $60,000 a year. They both make $260,000 a year. Whatever it is, they're the exact same. They live in a double. They rent out one side. The white guy next door lives in the double. He rents out one side. The black guy drives a Suburban. The white guy drives a Suburban. The black guy, has a wife and 2 kids. The white guy has a wife and 2 kids. The black guy's more responsible than the white guy in New Orleans for the, quote, black community and this gap in black and white economics in the city. The black guy's more responsible. Like, hey, Jimmy, I got to go out and help the black community because I'm black. You're white. Have a good day at the golf course. I mean, I don't get it. I think the black guy and the white guy are equally invested or should be in the city of New Orleans and equally responsible for the black community that has this gap from the white community because it's a black and white thing. I mean, I don't know. Anyone black that would be offended by that, I think you need to look in the mirror, take do some introspection. It's a black thing, so the black community fixes it, and that's that. And the white community or Latino or Asian or female, and gay community, no one else is responsible for that. That's insane. It's a New Orleans problem. Black is incidental. I'm sure if we go to North Dakota, it's white. We go to Miami, it's Cuban. We go to New Mexico, it's Latino. Texas, Latino, whatever. Find all kind of different folks that have a economic gap between white people in America. In New Orleans, it is a problem that drags the city down. Black and white together have to fix it. It's not a black problem, black people fix it. It's a New Orleans problem, and we have to fix it. We have to fix it. If there's something that affects one group, it's their problem to deal with when it affects all of us indirectly. We need to get all of the affluent, connected, well-to-do people in New Orleans. Most of them would be white male, rich, wealthy, affluent, know people, college educated, get around, travel a lot, no CEOs and leaders of companies. There's some black males in this city too, and I'm sure there are white females and black females as well. Get together. People that know or went to school, college with CEO, decision maker, Fortune 500, Fortune 1000 company types. Like I use Bill Hines again, a Bill Hines type that, his old college roommate, Michelle Obama's Yale freshman year roommate was a local New Orleans girl. Now that story's sickening, but it's a local New Orleans girl. No, you get these New Orleanians that have the connections, getting in front of those people, bringing with them like a Michael Hecht or Doug Thornton types, Bill Hines types, and hey, we need 10 Microsoft jobs. We need 50 Microsoft jobs. What do we have to do to get you to come here? We'll bend over backwards. We'll do whatever it takes. We proactively do that. We're going to land some jobs, and then it might lead to momentum. There are about 100,000 Hondurans in Metro New Orleans. 100,000. Like one in every dozen, one in every 15 of us is a Honduran. How isn't there some economic connection to the city and that country that benefits Honduras and New Orleans? That's mind-blowing. How about the Vietnamese community? Empower the Vietnamese community. All they do out in the Far East, New Orleans Far East, is win. And I don't know how you do this, maybe just temporarily. The city council has 9 members. Maybe you increase it to 9, and numbers 8 and 9, one is a Honduran and one is a Vietnamese citizen. Because there's no Honduran or Vietnamese representation on the council at all. And those people are smart and hardworking. They probably want to have nothing to do with broken New Orleans. Transparency in government, and another multi-billion-dollar transformative project like the River District. How about every quarter, the mayor of New Orleans, the parish president of Jefferson, St. Bernard, the 10 parish region, all get together face to face to discuss how we bring the region together, move it together forward in a positive way. Probably have outside consultants from outside New Orleans and Louisiana that come into these quarterly meetings, and we move the region together forward. Give the Port of New Orleans whatever it wants. Every dollar invested in the Port of New Orleans, every dollar the state of Louisiana invests in the Port of New Orleans, they get $5 in return. Give the Port of New Orleans whatever it wants. Then a couple of local things I talk about a long time. Obviously, litter. From being the filthiest city in America to being one of the cleanest. And then my We Be Digging initiative. We be digging. We be digging big holes, retention ponds to stop flooding, to help us drain that water, gravity, naturally. Retention ponds should be all over the city. Small ones, medium-sized ones, humongous ones, all over the city. A proliferation of retention ponds. Make them nice. Water features, pampas grass, little docks for fishing. People-friendly all over. And help us when it rains. We be digging big holes, retention ponds. We be digging small holes. In the last 20 years, New Orleans, are you listening to this? In the last 20 years, New Orleans has lost 1/3 of its tree canopy. Trees help flood, reduce flooding. Trees shade, reduce the temperature in the metro. We've lost 1/3, 1 out of every 3 trees we've lost in Metro New Orleans, in New Orleans proper, really, in the last 20 years. We need to, we be digging small holes, planting trees everywhere. Like 24/7, 365. We should just be like ants on a sugar cube. Wow, another retention pond being dug. Wow, more trees planted there. It looks beautiful. That's all we should be doing. We be digging. That's part of my mayoral platform. Anybody running's welcome to jump on any of those topics and claim them as your own. Yeah, the other stuff's a bunch of talk and chatter and not moving the needle. These are things that are measurable. Measurable. My brother is in town. He's actually about to beeline out of Dodge, in town with his son from London. My mom lives here. My other brother lives here. My sister. We were at Lebanon's yesterday. We were at Lebanon's last Sunday. No, my mom's Syrian Lebanese. I know this food. I grew up on this food. My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, made all this stuff. And Lebanon's is authentic, and it's fresh, and it's large portions, and it's priced right. To-go orders, indoor dining, shish kebab, lamb chops. They're open 7 days a week, 11 a.m., straight through the day till 9:30 at night. That's right. Lebanon's Cafe open tonight for dinner till 9:30. Go experience some of the finest Middle Eastern food in Metro New Orleans, Lebanon's Cafe.
River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot. River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
Since 1896, a true taste of New Orleans. Leidenheimer French bread.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe. Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right, Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa, and now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville, the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City. Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
I mean, we're closing in on 6 o'clock and it's still 93 degrees outside. I went and walked my dog the other night. It was like 8:30 at night and it was just oppressive as hell. There was no breeze. It had to be still 88 or 89 degrees. It was humid, just nasty, man. Like halfway through the walk, I'm just sweating through my shirt. It was such a relief to get home and walk back in the air conditioning. That is a godsend. I hit that Carrollton post office today, Carrollton Avenue, by the McDonald's across the street. That first entrance part you go in where, it's mostly the P.O. boxes. Man, it's chilling like Bob Dylan. It's got a high-pitched roof. I mean, if you live in the Holly Grove neighborhood or a Pigeon Town across the street, you don't have air conditioning, man, that's a good little spot to go pop in. I'm telling you, it was very, very comfortable in that tall ceiling. So they've got a AC unit that's working like a champ at the post office on Carrollton. That's the kind of stuff you have to do. Watch out for the elderly, folks that have health problems. Get them inside air conditioning, during those 9 a.m. to around now till it gets back into the 80s because 93 degrees right now, and it's almost 6 o'clock. Hey, if you have air conditioning and your AC is not working right, or worse, not working at all, Total Maintenance is there. Fair and Honest Lucas and the boys will come immediately. They're honest. They're air conditioning experts, and they come right now. In New Orleans, NOLAAC.com. How easy is that? You need air conditioning help in New Orleans? NOLAAC.com. In Baton Rouge, tm-ac.com. TM like Total Maintenance. tm-ac.com. Total Maintenance. They've been helping me for about 20 years now. What's that, Blue Boy? The AC's chilling like Bob Dylan. You're ready to get back in it at home. You're also ready for some kibble. And then you're hoping around 8-ish or so, there's a little breeze as the sun sets. And we actually can go for a walk without sweating through our clothing. Or in your coat, in your instance, your coat. I get it, Blue Boy. I get it. Thanks, everybody. See you tomorrow, 4 o'clock.
You're on the Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 6 p.m.
It's 6 p.m., people. All right.